Hey guys, welcome back to Rogue House, and this is your boy God Firebringer, and today we are going to talk about the release of 1.7 Outbreak in the Division. I'm going to talk about the no, the how, and what is the best way to beat global events so you can get as much GE credits this week as possible. But before I do that, play my So one of the things that I've noticed since the update is a lot of people are having a hard time doing the Outbreak global events. Now, whether it would be lack of coordination or lack of understanding, either way, I'm going to explain everything that I possibly can within a short amount of time so you can go out there and get that loot. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, as you can see behind me, are the rules for Outbreak by tier for this week. So the top tier is the easiest, and of course the bottom tier, which is Critical Outbreak, is the hardest. Now, if you are going for the most GEC, which is global event credits, as possible, which everybody is doing, Critical Outbreak says severe outbreak behavior plus headshot marked enemies are killed instantly by headshot from another agent. Problem with this right now is that that mechanism is not happening the way it is being said in the tier slot. So a lot of people are thinking that, hey, this is a bug because we fight bosses, we hit them with a mark, and bosses' headshot damage, though greatly increased, it doesn't kill them instantly. So for the time being, it is what it is, but I wanted to let you guys know that because I think people are kind of losing their marbles over it. So the first thing that I want to run by you guys are the best guns to use for this week's Outbreak. The first gun is the SVD Paratrooper, for the fact that you can line your shots up without having to deal with too much recoil. Even though they did do a little nerf to it a little bit, it still has the best line of fire for the spam of bullets in the game. The next weapon of choice, if you do not like the sniper rifle, is the Urban MDR. This weapon is a great substitute for it directly mimics the purpose of the SVD Paratrooper, in my opinion with slightly better recoil. Next is the RPK-74 or the Pecan, which is what I personally use, and the reason this is my pick is because the Pecan, you can focus fire your headshots. What I mean by this is when you hit an enemy in the head, you only have about 3 seconds for another player to shoot them in the face to get that maximum damage. Now with the Pecan, however, when you're shooting a 100 round mag, it is very easy to team up with a friend and just keep mowing down an enemy's head while your teammate gets the finishing shot. Also know that the Pecan has the best recoil and accuracy in the LMG family. To me, this is definitely one of the best weapons to use because not only do you clean sweep, but you have so many bullets it's just hard to miss. Now after that we have the lightweight M4, or you can use a G36C, which I think is also a great choice because it has better stability than the lightweight. Or you can use any assault rifle variation that you choose except the LVOA and the Bullfrog because of the fact that they are so hard to control even when they have stability mods on them. Now I'm not saying that those two guns are absolutely useless, this is just my opinion, and also while using an assault rifle, I would advise you to use burst fire so you don't waste bullets because eventually the gun does go out of control no matter what AR you use, and the objective once again is to get headshots. Next up is the SASG, and it is a great weapon to use simply because you can keep enemies away from you and shut them down as quick as possible when they get close to you, which is one of the worst things that can happen to you while running an outbreak mission because you don't want to get the contamination. So just in case your teammates gets befuddled or enemies start to encroach you, just whip that bad boy out and start blasting away. This is a great clutch secondary weapon when things get tight for you in that moment. But last but not least, you can use pistols, people. If you are a super tryhard and you want to challenge yourself, yes, you can use pistols because they work. The guys that I ran with the other day used pistols and it was very funny as hell. But yes, they do work as long as you're not using something like the 9.3R or maybe a snub nose. All the other pistols, in my book, are good. Now make note that because you're not focusing on damage per se, it is best that you use stability mods or accuracy mods, whichever fits your preference. The less you fight over the control of your weapon, the better. And those are the only mods that matter on the gun. Now I know because of 1.6, there are a lot of people that were not even thinking about using stability mods, but this week you are in luck. If you have DZ credits, you can go to E61st and there is a scope, angled grip, and a muzzle brake for about 25,000 DZ credits. Or if you're looking for a flash hider muzzle and you don't have DZ credits, you can go to the Crypt Safe House, and that muzzle there is for about 174,000 regular credits. Unfortunately, I could not find any other mods for regular credits, but hopefully maybe you'll get some drops and get lucky. The next thing that I want to talk about are the best builds in the game for you to use in the global events. And this is very simple because the best thing about this is that you are not going to need to focus on your stats per se, but more on your talents with your gear sets. So the best gear sets are 4-piece Reclaimer with 3-piece Tactician, or 4-piece Tactician with 3-piece Firecrest, or 4-piece Defense with 3-piece Tactician. Having the Defense and Tactician hybrid build is very good for drawing aggro, allowing your teammates to do more headshots with less resistance. Use of the Tactician will be more useful and very strong in 1.7 people, so you might as well get ready. Because having Tactician will be great for skill haste and additional skill power while unlocking the other talents for the other gear set, allowing you to proc your skills even faster and supplying a better heal during your mission. As far as mods go, the only mods you want to use is electronic with skill haste mods. But if you don't have those, then electronics and health is always a good substitution. What's most important is that you are speccing into electronics, because the more electronics you have, the better your heal is and the more potent your skills are. Now, when speaking of skills, the best skills you want to use for the outbreak this week is the Immunization Support Station, or the Life Support Station, the Flashbang Sticky Bomb, First Aid Overdose or Defibrillator, Recon Pulse, because you do not want to get blindsided by any rushers, Smart Cover Recharger, which is very useful for decreasing your skill cooldown and also heals you over time. And if you really want to get nifty, for those who are using defense, or anyone else for that matter, you can use Airburst Seeker mods. Yeah, that's right, I said it. These are actually really useful when you get a head marker on an enemy, and when the Seeker mod jumps up into the air and explodes, it does significant damage and normally does insta-kills to the enemy. Now, of course, in cohesion with this, you need to know about your talents. And there are 3 talents that you absolutely must use, and that is Battle Buddy, Triage, and Combat Medic. Now, your 4th can be optional, and you can go full medical with critical save, or if you're using Firecrest, you can take up Wildfire, like I do. If you feel you need more stability for your weapons when firing, you can use Steady Hands, which means every time you enter cover for 10 seconds gives you increased stability. Or last but not least, if you really want to get crafty, you can use Tech Support, which for every enemy you kill increases the duration of any active skill by 10%. Now, I don't know if I said this or not, and if I did, I just simply forgot. Everything that I'm telling you guys is just merely my opinion. I played all day yesterday, learned a few things, came across some few things, experimented with a few things, and I had a lot of fun doing so. And I'm just passing it on to you guys so you can experiment as well. Now, to wrap this up, I want to leave you guys with some tips to help you get through the mission with your teammates smoother, so there isn't no disgruntled tension which happens all the time when you're playing the Division. And 1, you need to have precision. I know that this is self-explanatory, but as I said, because some people just feel like they can piggyback, you really shouldn't do that, because that hurts your team more than helping. Number 2 is that you need coordination amongst your squad. It is always best to stay on the same page and to go in with a plan than just to be going in there like Wile E. Coyote and shooting up everything everywhere. It just does not work. Number 3 is masterful communication. There is nothing worse than trying to do one of these kinds of missions with someone who doesn't have a mic or just doesn't want to talk, which can highly be frustrating, highly confusing, and can kill your whole dang squad. Number 4 is to prioritize your enemies. It is very important to know which enemies to kill first, so you do not get encroached by them, because what is important is you need to keep the enemies away from you so you don't get infected with the outbreak contamination. So maybe you want to kill the rushers first, then the grenadiers, then the tanks. Either way, this is something you should discuss with your team before doing your mission. Number 5 is to monitor your skills to keep them alive. What I mean by this is that, of course, you use your skills to help your friends to get you through the mission, but it's very important that you pay attention to when you use those skills to when you can use them again, to constantly keep up the healing, the protection, the damage, whatever you're trying to do, to keep that consistent. Keep that skill consistently in the game as much as you can, because you never know when you're actually really going to need it, and it could definitely damage you, the team, or the process of you even making it through that mission. Number 5 is to not panic. Now, I know this sounds silly to you, but it's very important that you don't lose your minds in front of your friends or even randoms, because panicking, it can completely destroy whatever morale or whatever concentration your team had. So try to keep your cool during the missions you play. Last but not least, have fun, because I'm having tremendous fun playing this new update. It's different. There's so much stuff you can build. There's so much stuff you can do, even to just the very small increments of detail to how you can transfer power from one gear set to another. Now, the last bit of information that I want to let you guys know is this. When running for Outbreak, and you're trying to grind, you're trying to get your points, you're trying to buy gear, the best missions to run, if you're not going for exotic caches, is Napalm, Dragon's Nest, and Hudson Refuge. It's very important to know that with Napalm, you have an experienced group. I know I did it with the team that I ran it with within around 25 minutes. So we just do it over and over and over again, and we can get our, get a nice big chunk of change. But if you are not trying to go through the mayhem, then try to do Hudson's Refuge, because that's probably the best bang for your buck. Because considering the average amount of people who are running, you could probably do Hudson twice, maybe even 3 times before the average group finishes Napalm 1 time. The only reason I don't mention Dragon's Nest is simply because even though that Dragon's Nest will give you 900 GEC versus Hudson that will give you 875 GEC, is simply because Dragon's Nest has too many pause points, and I feel like it's slightly a little longer than necessary if you're trying to use your time better. But with that being said, leave a like, leave a comment down below, hit that notification button, man, so you know when I'm dropping new content, if you want to know when I'm dropping my next video. And until then, I will see you guys next time. I will definitely be uploading more Outbreak videos. I will definitely be uploading gear set videos, my own personal builds, because I'm working on some real wacky stuff that I think that nobody's going to expect, but I think that it will work. And keep trying to experiment out there and have fun with the game, guys. Until next time, see you later.